We work hard so you can get hard. That's a lot.
Woo! I'm sure that was consensual.
It was fucking Carl!
We'll move on from him. Strictly Ball Business, we are talking about the formula on how to become a contender in the NBA. For you, Dalton, what is that formula? Is it a step-by-step process? You know, what's it going to be?
So it is like step-by-step, and it prioritizes certain things. I have 5 variables that fit into what make a championship. And like, it's easy to say the variables, and it's like, so first off, it starts off with a superstar, not an all-star or whatever. So you pull out, and that, like, obviously Hornets are looking at LaMelo Ball to be their superstar, rebuilding teams. Spurs don't have a superstar, and I don't think they thought that DeJounte Murray was going to be that superstar. So like, that's why they step back, like, we got to get back to the draft board, etc. So once you get your superstar, that's the first step. You recognize it. Giannis, Curry, LeBron, James Harden at some point, Jokic. Yeah. Once you discover you have him, then you still in that draft process. Hopefully you pull out somebody, like, look at the Grizzlies did, where they're like, Ja's our superstar, but we pulled out an who could eventually be a fringe all-star type guy. They don't need to be an all-star. Actually, they do need to be an all-star. It's Desmond Bane. So he might be able to make an all-star.
I think he's a potentially all-star type player. Why not? He's just had a great second season.
You're right. I was just gauging it off of what he did this year. It was a fringe all-star type season with
only in his second year.
Yeah, only his second year. So he can become an all-star. Certainly, there's a floor there. But that's the second thing, is you got to have a scoring all-star next to him. Not like Draymond. I'll get to like Draymond Green's and Rudy Gobert's type of all-stars, but you need a scoring all-star. Like Bradley Beal, Donovan Mitchell. You need a guy that can go out there and average 20, 22, 23 a game next to your superstar. That adds a little bit reliability, flexibility to offenses. Certainly, if the superstar has to sit out, you can stay honest on the floor with an all-star leading your offense like that. My third thing is a top 10 defensive player. So a lot of things you can look at the Warriors for this. They got their superstar in Steph Curry. They got their all-star in Klay Thompson. Granted, Draymond Green turned into an all-star, but certainly not the prototypical way an all-star becomes an all-star, right? So he's a top 10 defensive player. That's why they won a championship. That's why they're a contender. Look at all the contenders. They all have a top 10 defensive player. Marcus Smart. The Nuggets didn't get there. Will they? We'll see. I still have yet to see that defensive guy. Drew Holiday and Giannis are both on the Bucks. Joel Embiid is on the 76ers. I mean, I can talk more. Pascal Siakam's really good defensively, but it's more about the system. So you get guys like that, and you can make that push. Anthony Davis, when they won the Lakers, was a top 10 defensive player. So that's a third thing. Adaptive coaching is another huge thing that they need. And then filling the last 5. So adaptive coaching, it's pretty self-explanatory. And the fifth thing is filling needs of superstars. So like, take Trae Young, get some more perimeter defenders, pull them in if need be. Next to Giannis, you need shooters. I mean, every team needs shooters, but it's the amount of shooters, like what you can do without them. So you cover up for the inefficiency of that superstar, because that superstar is going to have the ball in their hands most of the time. If you need a better playmaking, you pull in guy Rondo, Pepe, whatever. You throw around what you need.
Yeah.
What do you think of those 5?
No, I'm down with it. I think that was more than 5 steps. You had quite a few different things linked in there. I'm just kidding. I like it, though. It makes sense to me. I think overall, like, building your team is not always going to be the same exact formula, but there are, some similarities across teams that win championships. For me, step 1 is gotta get bad. Gotta get really bad if you are a small market to mid-market team. If you're the Lakers or the Heat, it doesn't really matter because you can just bring in nice free agents who want to live there. So, we don't all live under that umbrella. So most teams have to get really bad. Even the Houston Rockets live in Texas. You think a lot of people would be going to Houston. They had to get really bad recently.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida.
Apparently not everybody likes Disney World.
Yeah, I guess.
So you got to get really bad. And then with those picks, you acquire players that are star potential type of players and are hungry to win. So hopefully you get your star out of here. If you're able to get him in like the top part of the draft, great. That's where it usually happens. Not always does it work out that way, obviously, with Giannis, and in a greater example with Jokic. But, like you said, this is the point where you're just acquiring as many solid, great potential players that you can, and find out which one's your superstar that you're going to build around, and like where else do you have around that. After that, it's you trade for your missing piece. So like you've got your guys, you figured out, your young guys that have been working within your system. They've got the defensive mentality that your coach has given them, and they understand the plays effectively. Now you're trading for your missing piece that's like a veteran who's already done it for another team, and he's coming in to show you the ropes in another way. So gotta get it like those veterans who really can show you how to win, because most players, like, yeah, they're gonna resonate with some coach as well, but like you need that peer-to-peer coaching as well. And having a guy like Patrick Beverly in your ear, or having a guy like Marcus Morris in your ear, like that stuff is important. A guy who's played in the league a few years, it's going to help your team out a lot.
Yeah. No, that's a huge point. Like that fills in that fourth one I had about filling in needs for if you have Steph Curry's more of a quiet. He's a leader, but he's more of a quiet guy. He's not that guy that's going to push it. That's what Draymond's there for, and that's why he's you fill in the deficiencies of the superstar, and that was one Steph Curry had, and they brought him in. Also, obviously, one of the best Hall of Fame defensive player, I'd say.
Well, unfortunately for the Warriors, they were able to bring Draymond in as a second-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it wasn't even like they recognized this need of theirs and they went and traded for it or signed a free agent. They just did a great job at drafting the right guy, and it worked out. Usually doesn't work out that way for everyone, but step 4 for me is just like working the margins each year to improve. So like you've got your team, you've got your coach. Each year there's going to be a reason that you're going to tell yourself why you didn't make it further, and so you're going to make some change. And so each year you just got to improve on the margins. I mean, like, what did the Bucks do this year after they didn't make the championship in a year? They decided we're going to extend Bobby Portis because he's great. We know that. And then didn't they do something else? Didn't they bring in someone new?
Yeah, they brought so like they brought in Grayson Allen last season. He's staying.
Grayson Allen last season.
Well,
so now he's a big part of their team.
They just they re-signed Serge Ibaka, hoping he's going to be healthy. I think that was pretty much it. I don't know if they re-signed, we did a video on him. It was that point guard? They're back to, and then, but no, yeah, but also the Bucks, part of their thing is the injuries. So now as the season goes on, you'll see them a little bit, you'll see their stars play less minutes. They're going to make sure everyone's healthy by the time they get in to the playoffs. You're going to see that as a huge thing that's taking place this season. More towards the end of the season, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I'd say the hardest part of rebuilding, I mean, we say all this stuff like it's easy, but like getting that superstar is the hardest part. I mean, the magic heaven.
Right. That's why you have to get really bad.
Yeah.
Because it's the easiest way to get that star these days.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, even that's not
it's not a
guarantee.
Perfect formula because of the lottery.
Yeah, and even who you might draft. Timberwolves drafted Andrew Wiggins thinking he was it.
Well, and even Andrew Wiggins was one of the better top draft picks the Wolves had in years. They also took Derek Williams 2nd overall, and he was a total bust. Wes Johnson 4th overall, and he was a total bust. Like this year, I don't know who's gonna bust in the top 5. But realistically, they can't all be stars.
No, that's right. So, like, getting that superstar is a lot harder, but everything else can be traded for. But it's really hard to trade for a superstar.
The situation comes around sometimes, but if you get into a situation like the Knicks are right now, and you're looking to trade for Donovan Mitchell because, like, you don't already have a star and you're trying to bring one in, then you just end up, like, gutting the team. Whereas if you're able to draft that guy, then you didn't have to gut your team for him, and you can, improve further on the margin for a better, second and third option.
Yeah, I mean, look at the 76ers. They have their superstar, but they traded for that all-star, that scoring all-star next to well, granted, Harden's also a superstar, not playing like one currently, but they gutted their entire team for that.
He's still a star-like player. And something I'll say on Harden for this upcoming season is I do think he's going to bounce back. He's been fighting some hamstring injuries the last couple of years, and he's been talking about that. And I think scoring's going to come back stronger for him. We'll see how he does in the playoffs, but I think overall, still a star player. What's been interesting for the Sixers with building up from where they were was because they were obviously so bad. They were the process, and they accumulated tons of draft picks. They failed on tons of them, but they hit on a couple of them. And now they've pivoted till they've gotten to this point. You know, they traded for a superstar before, and he left them. So now they tried it again, and now this guy wants to stay. It's a new situation, and who knows? Maybe they'll get a championship out of it.
Yeah, but these are the pieces that we thought would make a contender. If you guys disagree or you guys have other things that we're missing out, let us know. Comment below.
All right, strictly ball business. We went so hard for you, so you leave a comment on the tube.